Now, did Brother Joseph know the essentials of the gospel? Did he? Did he know the fundamentals of the faith? Rhetorical question. Yes, he did. In fact, he was always getting this question, especially from his Protestant ministers. Well, Brother Joseph, what's the difference? What makes Mormonism different from our religion, from Protestantism? And he got so tired of having to state it over and over and over again, he finally said, I need to write this down. And on May the 8th, 1838, he published it in the Elders' Journal. Listen to this. I quote the prophet. The fundamental principles of our religion are the testimony of the apostles and prophets concerning Jesus Christ, that he died, was buried, and rose again the third day, and ascended into heaven. I want to stop right there, make a comment or two, and then finish the quote. When I read that, I said, I could have written that. I could have. The fundamental principles of our faith is that he died, he was buried, he rose again the third day, and he ascended. You want to hear it? Benny Hinn believes that. Oral Roberts believed that. Billy Graham believes that. Joseph III believed that. Frederick M. believed that. Israel A. believed that. W. Wallace believed that. Wally B. believed that. William Branham believed that. Pope Francis believes that. The Queen of England believes that. I believe that, and I think you believe that, don't you? Well, what in the world's the fuss? Now let me finish the quote. I want to read that again and quote the whole thing. The fundamental principles of our religion are the testimony of the apostles and prophets concerning Jesus Christ. That he died, was buried, and rose again the third day, and ascended into heaven. And all other things, says Brother Joseph, all other things which pertain to our religion are only appendages to it. Let me talk about that. C.S. Lewis said an interesting thing in his book, Mere Christianity. And I'm not quite sure if you'll get into the celestial kingdom, if you haven't read it. Attempted humor. It is quite a book. He says in the introduction this: it's not that we Christians disagree. It's that we disagree on the importance of our disagreements. Now put on your thinking cap. Illustration. My Baptist buddies say, Brother Lynn, how in the world can you go out to Utah and preach to those Mormons? They say that. And they'd say the same thing about you all too here. They knew I was here. And they say, don't you know what they believe? Don't you know they believe in the deification of man and the pluralities of gods and eternal progression? And don't you know they believe in sacred and secret sealings? Don't you know that? I say, yes, sir. Let me turn the tables. Let's say one of, now this hasn't happened, illustration, okay? Let's say that one of you brethren comes up to Dale when you hear that I'm coming. And you say, Brother Dale, don't you know what that Baptist believes? Don't you know he believes in the rapture? Don't you know he believes in a closed canon? Don't you know that most of them are loose cannons? Here's the deal. Let me go on. I'm finished with Joseph. In the essentials of the gospel, hear me, please. Let there be unity. And what are those essentials of the gospel? Joseph enumerated them. Do you believe that he died? Do you believe that he was buried? Do you believe that he rose? Do you believe he ascended? Then we're family. We can fellowship. You say, but what about transubstantiation? You know those Catholics, what they believe, no, those are appendages. Those are negotiable. But what about women in the priesthood? I don't even know what you're talking about. Those are appendages. But what about presidential succession? The remnants got it, don't they? Those are appendages. Those are negotiable. I didn't say they were not important. I'm saying what's important to you probably is not worth a whit to me. And I don't mean to be cavalier, but I do want to get my point across. I just don't care about those matters. I'm not saying that you don't. You probably don't care about the closed canon. I don't care about transubstantiation. I don't care about infinite regeneration that the Methodists believe in. But they're my brothers. They believe in the death, burial, resurrection, and ascension. What have I learned about the book? And then we'll go home.